Guys, we want to thank HoneyBook for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. Listen, if you run your own business, you're used to doing it all, okay? But if you're struggling to get through your to-do list, HoneyBook can help. When you started your business, did you dream about all these admin tasks like drafting proposals and contracts and tracking down payments? If that wasn't part of your vision, then you need HoneyBook. It's an online business management tool that organizes your client communications, bookings, contracts, and invoices all in one place. It makes it super simple to run your business better than you do now. I'm not saying you do it bad right now, but I'm saying you could do it better. They can even consolidate services you already use like QuickBooks, Google Suite, Excel, and MailChimp/Gmail. It's the number one choice for client and business management for freelancers and business owners. Save time and do more of what you love with HoneyBook. And right now, HoneyBook is offering our listeners 50% off your first year with promo code TINY. Payment is flexible and the promotion applies whether you pay monthly or annually. Go to honeybook.com and use promo code TINY for 50% off your first year. Once again, that's honeybook.com, promo code TINY.
What is up, guys? That was an ad on the Tiny Meat Gang podcast, and I just saw it and thought, it's kind of an odd ad spot for that audience. Some very business forward startup, it seems like, and they bought the first spot on the Tiny Meat Gang reading podcast ads. So they must have paid a pretty good amount to get that read to the Tiny Meat Gang audience, which is, I don't necessarily know for sure that that's an entrepreneurial audience. But today I'm going to do some research into this company called HoneyBook, and let's just see what we can find out about them. So I got my laptop, screen recording, and let's just see what these guys are all about, what they do, and sort of who they are. Sorry for the janky setup. I'm going to do this on my bed. I don't have an appropriate setup for my desk, so we're shooting on the bed. So let's just jump into this thing and see what we can find. Obviously, a Google search is our numero uno thing to do. HoneyBook. Point of reference, they're on Bryant Street in San Francisco. That's why I freaking moved to San Francisco, because startups out here, excuse me. I'm not going to tell you guys where I live, but these guys are not far from me at all. So great, we know where they live now. Not super helpful, or where they are. Not super helpful. Let's find out. Let's go to their website, see what they actually like. The website is going to be the thing that they want you to learn about them first. Landing page here, everything your business needs to be, or to get it done. That probably didn't make sense. Everything your business needs to get it done. Manage projects, book clients, send invoices, and get paid. So it's sort of like a billing platform with project management on top. Okay, hold on. This freaking website's got a ton of stuff barking at me. All right, here's a screenshot of their dashboard. Home, projects, tools, clients. So in some way, I would consider this like a CRM, a customer relationship management tool, like Salesforce sort of thing, but kind of not. Obviously, it's not like Salesforce. It's a very small, scaled down version for smaller companies, which I guess would make sense because the Tiny Meat Gang, I'm assuming, doesn't have, if they have entrepreneurial people as an audience, it's not going to be like huge companies. I'm assuming they're going after the small guys. That's called SMB, by the way. The market that this company, if I'm guessing what they're after, it's going to be small to medium-sized businesses, SMB. Got a mobile app. All right, let's see what they've got for features. All-in-one automation, automate tasks. All right, proposals, fine. Online payments. Okay. It's still like not, what's not clear from their website is like who's their audience. So now I'm getting that message twice. I got it once from their ad spot on the TMG podcast. Who's your, like, that doesn't tell me who your audience is, because like the Tiny Meat Gang podcast audience is a very specific audience of people who are looking for, like, you know, size jokes, I'll say. So there's that, and now even their website, it still doesn't tell me, like, who is this for? Who buys HoneyBook? I don't have that answer. I'm looking for that answer. I still don't have it. Okay, I might come back to their website, but let's search their Crunchbase real quick. I'm just curious, like, where they sit in terms of size, and that might give us some insight. Okay, so what this tells me right off the bat is, so they're founded in 2013. They've been around sort of a long time, but they're on their Series C of investment, and they've got $86 million in investment. So that tells me a few things. Who have they got investment from? Any big names here? I'm not saying none of these companies are big names on screen, but I don't immediately recognize any of these capital firms or venture firms, which might just be that I'm not super familiar with all the big names out here. But 86 million is nothing to gawk at. That's a Series B, Series C volume or amount, and you know, they've taken in 86 million, so they're no joke. That answers one question, which is, let's just assume they paid $10,000 for the spot, the number one spot on the TMG podcast. I don't know, you know, that's just an assumption. I don't know how much that spot actually costs, but it makes sense that they're spraying and praying with money with their ads because they can afford to do that. And actually, that's probably a smart strategy, because who knows whose audience is going to click with this. So my guess is that HoneyBook is sponsoring a bunch of different podcasts, and TMG happened to be in the pile, which explains that sort of weird vibe when I watched it. It was like, why is HoneyBook, like, what is HoneyBook, and why are we talking about business right now? It was the first thing I thought when I listened to that podcast. Okay, interesting. Let's see what we can get from HoneyBook news. I guess I can just search HoneyBook and go to news. Finally, CNBC gives us an answer of who this is actually for. Finally. Jesus Christ. 92%, according 2 days ago, CNBC wrote an article titled 92% of US freelancers can't take a non-working vacation. A new survey reveals. So this title has nothing to do with HoneyBook. I don't know why it's the top hit. If I click in and just do a Control F or Command F on the article, I'm assuming that they mention HoneyBook at some point, probably another ad spot. Let's see what happens. The first word in this article is HoneyBook, with a link back. Do you see in the corner, honeybook.com, with a link back to their website, which is super important. I'll tell you why in a second. It's a business and financial management platform. Thank you, CNBC, or whoever this is. Yeah, CNBC, for explaining what HoneyBook actually is in plain English. It's for entrepreneurs and freelancers. So that's the SMB side of things. I really think the freelancer side gives us a persona to think about and to understand the lens of what this is actually about. Of course, entrepreneurs, you know, of small startup companies or small companies probably use this too. This looks like it's got a lot of information in it. I'm assuming it's a paid article on CNBC's website. They've given a link back to HoneyBook's website. The word HoneyBook appears on the page 7 times. The link back helps rank HoneyBook's website higher in search results when a very well-rated domain like CNBC is linking back. So one of the ways that Google works is it trusts newer domains to be better when older, like more trusted domains link to them. It's one of the best ways to like pass trust to new websites, and for Google to know what new websites to serve up and which ones, if they don't have link backs from older, like more trusted ones, to like ignore. So the fact that the first word here is a link back is important, and CNBC don't do that for free. All right, so this is probably another paid article. Got all these images. I'm curious if this image right here matches the branding for HoneyBook. Or for HoneyBook's website. And I'll tell you why in a second. All right, let's just go back to HoneyBook. Okay. So the color of these buttons, and look at the color of these buttons, the color of the background, the color of these, I don't know if you'd call that like a glyph or what, but I'm looking at those and seeing if they're the same colors, which they are. See this button? It's not exactly the same, but this purple looks very similar. So the reason why I'm looking at that is my guess, and I'm guessing the font's the same too, like this font. Very similar to that font. I'm guessing HoneyBook just gave them one of their sort of sales assets here, or marketing assets, and CNBC just posted it. So yeah, see these little, like, cartoons are the same, using the same colors. All right, that tells us a lot. HoneyBook is going on a mass marketing spree. TechCrunch is posting they raised a $28 million Series C, led by Citi Ventures. Okay, cool. So a little bit of preliminary information tells me quite a bit of a story. Let me see if I Google HoneyBook podcast. What podcasts come up? Oh, it's kind of interesting. It looks like HoneyBook has a marketplace of creators to hire, sort of like, it seems like maybe a mixture of like this sort of CRM tool with also a place for you to get new business. And that's what this website is, honeybook.com/creatives. All right, so let's just see what HoneyBook actually costs. So this is kind of interesting. So they've got an annual and a monthly plan. They default you to the annual, which I'm not surprised by. You get free account setup and training. Yeah, sure. I don't know how much I believe. We'll see whatever. Who knows? They have a concierge. That's basically the same. Number one and number two are the same. All HoneyBook features, again, dude, I have so many bones to pick with this website. That's generic. That doesn't tell me anything. Your brand, oh my God, these bullets are... The product bullets. I don't know why I'm getting so upset about this, but it actually is kind of frustrating to me. Customized workflow. I'd say of these, that's the best one so far. Again, because I don't have a strong underlying understanding of what HoneyBook is in the first place, that doesn't really help me, but it's better than the other ones. Payment processing 3%. So, I'm assuming that means that they take 3% of the transactions. It's not quite clear that that's what they mean, but I'm assuming because credit cards usually take 2 point something, that their transaction fee is 3%, which maybe if they just called it a transaction fee, then I'd know what they mean for sure. Fraud protection, fine. Powerful mobile app. And a 60-day money-back guarantee. Okay, so this is one of the problems with larger startups. It takes a while, especially when they're scaling and ramping up really quickly. It takes a while, like a long while, to learn exactly how to explain what your product actually is. Let's just go to Salesforce's base website. I just want to see what they do. Or even click on the ad. I just want to do something I want to do a comparison here. Okay, so this is Salesforce's website brings you to a demo page. And it just says, integrate every part of your company that interacts with customers. Do you see how concise that is? That is the first thing you get. Actually, technically you get them bragging about the #1 CRM platform, which is fine. But really, this sentence right here, I haven't been to Salesforce's website in forever, but I'm not surprised that they have a super concise first sentence. It tells you the scope of the product. It tells you who the audience is, which is a company. And it tells you that it's about interacting with customers. Super important. I'm not getting any of that. Let's go way to the top of HoneyBook's website. So they're trying to do a flavor of this with everything your business needs to get it done, but it's too generic. Get what done? That needs to be answered. Also, like saying it's everything your business needs, like makes me feel like it doesn't give me the scope. The scope is everything, right? Like versus Salesforce's every part of what you interacting with your customer. So even if there's ancillary things that it does or doesn't do, it still gives me a really good idea. This is just being way too superlative and way too generic, and that's consistent. So this part gives me an idea, but I actually like startups like this. I'm being overly negative and overly critical, only because I actually care about this stuff. I'm sure HoneyBook is probably a really good company. To get funding like that, they've got to have some serious money. So and some serious due diligence to get that sort of money. So it's probably a good company. That's all I know about HoneyBook for now. If you guys want to follow up, I can actually log in and try this out. Let me know in the comments if you guys want that. Use code TINY, I guess, if you guys want to actually try HoneyBook, because that was a TMG code. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Love y'all. Peace.